want to welcome Mohammed Murad, who is our International President in the 2014-2015 program year. How many of you are aware, though, that he used to be a law enforcement officer? Indeed, he had a 20-year career with the Dubai Police Force, retiring as a Lieutenant Colonel in 2003. Since then, he has been an entrepreneur, currently managing 4 companies. On a personal note, I really enjoyed connecting with our speaker over the past weeks and swapping stories about Toastmasters with him. Thank you very much, past International President Mohammed, for accepting our invitation to speak with so much enthusiasm. We are really looking forward to your speech. So the floor is yours now.
Thank you very much, Lillian, fellow Toastmasters. It's indeed a pleasure to be among you, and specifically after the Hall of Fame, because that inculcates what your district is all about and how motivated you are and how many leaders were involved in the success of the district. But furthermore, it indicates how many leaders are going to come and achieve in the years to come. Because I believe that the success of a leader within any role, whether it's club, area, division, district, or even international, it does not come only within the term. And we have usually 1-year terms for our leadership roles. But what I always say is that the indication for the success of a leader within a term comes when you have finished your term 5 years later, and then you look back at the term that you were in a position of leadership, and every year after that for 5 years. And if you see that the district or any entity that you are a leader of or a part of the team of leadership, if you see them succeeding year after year, that is the time that you could say, I have been successful in my term. Because no term and no success is complete without succession. So let me ask you, how many leaders have you identified to continue the journey of success in your district? Because that's the legacy. The legacy is not saying that we have achieved something at that time, at our term. The legacy is being able to inspire, motivate, and mentor those who are coming after you, and taking along the experience of tens, probably hundreds of leaders who have gone through the experience and the leadership journey. You might have heard me talking in previous talks and probably in the convention about the 5 H's of leadership. And I have a model which has five words which start with the letter H. And it goes like head, heart, health, humility, and happiness. And if we do have these 5 elements in our leadership journey, then it is going to be a fulfilling one and indeed a successful one. But what I would like to talk about to you tonight is the last H, and that is happiness. You see, happiness is not an element in the leadership journey. It is the ultimate leadership factor. And probably many of us look at happiness at the end of our journey. While it is important for us to understand that happiness is the journey. So from the time that we become members in Toastmasters to the time that we take on leadership roles at different levels, if we are not happy, then we are not truly leading. So let me ask everyone, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? I see some fingers coming up, mostly 10s. And that's what should happen in your leadership journey. And many of you might say that, but it's not easy. And there are times that we will have challenges. There are times that we will have differences of opinion. But that calls for you to be happy because you are experiencing an ultimate leadership. Leadership without challenges is not a fulfilling journey. We all want to have terms without any problems, without any issues, and probably most of the past presidents, and two of them who are going to speak after me, will tell you that each and every one of us hoped that our terms are going to go through without any issues. But they will tell you also that that was not the case. And it certainly wasn't the case in my terms, and it wasn't the case when I was district governor, it wasn't the case when I was the club president. There will be challenges, but the happiness comes whenever we are able to solve them and continue the journey into success. And I saw a lot of clubs have achieved the perfect 10. And there are clubs that have achieved 9s and 5s, and some of them will achieve distinguished soon. And it's all a journey, by the way. And the fact of the matter is that Toastmasters International emphasizes a lot on achieving results, and that's how it should be. But what I always say is that if you have not achieved the result that you wanted, but by reflecting back, you understand and know that you have done the maximum you could do, and your team is satisfied that they have done the maximum they could do, then you have achieved success, because that is going to show in the 4 more years to come before you reflect on the success. You see, our journey is one building block in the middle of so many building blocks that have come before us, and we will be the foundation to the building blocks that will come after us. And building a foundation is simply by making sure that the team does their best. And it's important for the leaders to come to understand what role they are going to take on. So it's important to ask questions like, do I understand the position I am applying for? Do the goals and experience align with the role that I will be taking? Am I enthusiastic about the position? Will I positively contribute to the organization? And if all the answers to these questions is yes, then you are ready to take on a leadership role. Because leadership in Toastmasters is not about titles. We all acquire titles, but then the hard work is what will distinguish you from those who are there only for the titles. So do you understand what's in it for you? Do you feel responsible for the members who will put their trust on your shoulders? That is what Toastmasters leadership journey is all about. And the best way for you to know whether you will be able to do justice to the job or not is to apply. Because unless you try, you will never know. So congratulations to those who have achieved. Congratulations to the district. I see a lot of enthusiasm, and I love the theme and the way that the whole conference has been put together. It shows that there is a lot of leadership within the district. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best for the years to come. Back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, past International President Mohammed. We have put into the chat here for Zoom an opportunity for a couple of questions, if you would be willing to answer a couple of questions for us.
Sure.
Wonderful. So the first question I have, the legacy of an exiting leader leaves can be when they leave can be a tall order for the incoming leader. How can that gap be bridged in your view?
Well, I believe it's a continuum, as I said. Now, it's important for us as leaders, both incoming and outgoing, to have this understanding of what level we are looking at. And I'm sure that there are many that have looked at previous years' achievements and saw that the base has gone up because they have achieved presidents distinguished, Smedley distinguished, and so on. So how do you actually close the gap? And the answer is very simple. You need to have the same momentum going on. And that happens by smooth transitions, by having a meeting that will carry over the experience, the dynamics, and the hard work that the previous teams have done. So it's more of a communication of how things are done, because transfer of knowledge is very important. And once you get, this is my experience with many districts, once you get the magic equation, and it's different for any district, by the way, it's not the same for every district. Once you get the magic equation, it's the responsibility of the current team to carry over, transfer the knowledge to the next team, and this is where success will come year after year. I know that my district has been successful in doing that, even though the pandemic has hit us very, very hard, but they have done a very good job in transferring the knowledge.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I love particularly what you said too, in response to that question, also in your speech about the 5-year idea. And I joined Toastmasters in your year as international president, and I think you really laid a foundation, certainly, for the expansion in and across Europe. So thank you for that firm foundation and the 5 elements, the 5 H's. One last question, if we may, and maybe we keep it shorter on time, just like a short table topic. It says here, what is one of the hardest leadership lessons you have learned in your career?
The hardest leadership lesson. Well, it probably comes up in each and every leadership opportunity and challenge that I have, is that it's not possible for me to achieve things alone. And it's very easy for us to have it in our head that we have done it all and we know it all, therefore we could go ahead and do it on our own. But it comes back over and over again that it's all about teamwork. And if you don't take your team members with you, then you're not going to succeed.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for past International President Mohammed Murad.
Thank you so
very much for joining us this evening.